America Election News 2024. Biden and Trump are deeply troubled. Biden can cure his issues with money. The vice president and president-elect are both in deep pain. Who, nevertheless, would you choose to be? Even though he won office 4 years ago, incumbent Joe Biden is running for re-election with dismal approval ratings, particularly among important members of the coalition that supported him. With 2 devastating civil judgments handed down against him this year and 4 counts of indictment against him, one-term President Trump must devote as much, if not more, of his fundraising efforts on paying his defense attorneys as toward reclaiming the presidency. Compared to Trump, Biden has a significant fundraising advantage, which he may utilize to win over disillusioned voters in the remaining 8 months before the general election. These days, a win for Trump means that he may appeal a New York civil case verdict that determined his company's finances were full of fraud with just $175 million in bail. This is in response to an appellate court ruling. Takeover of the Republican National Committee by Trump's financial empire. What a striking difference. The campaign coffers of Joe Biden were slightly more than $71 million as February came to a close. Trump possessed $33.5 million at that point. It must feel wonderful to be Biden to have an edge of more than 2-1. The candidates' parties are also deeply divided. On February 29, the Democratic National Committee's cash on hand was $26.5 million. A total of $11.3 million was available to the Republican National Committee. Again, the Democratic Party is ahead by more than 2-1. When you think about the extreme measures his party is prepared to take to support him, even if it means sacrificing other Republicans running for office in the general election on November 5, the financial situation for Trump and the Republican National Committee becomes even more dire. Plus, the Republicans' timing is all wrong this year following a primary season in which Trump had no serious opponents. Prior to Super Tuesday, the general election had already begun in full swing. The race is about to begin. Despite outperforming Biden in certain critical swing states, Trump lags behind in terms of financial resources. According to last week's AP report, Trump's new joint fundraising effort with the Republican National Committee, Trump 47 Committee, sends contributions to his campaign account and then to a political action committee, Save America, that pays for his legal defenses. The party gets any excess. The 2024 election, will religion have a role? The people of the United States would prefer a president who is religious. Neither Trump nor Biden appear to them in that light. Even though Trump only assumed complete control of the Republican National Committee 3 weeks ago, the party has already devolved into an afterthought in its own management. Wow, that's really unexpected. During her campaign for co-chair, his daughter-in-law Laura Trump made it plain that the party will revolve around Trump going ahead. Legal bills and issues for Trump keep piling up. Midway through April, Trump will face his first criminal trial in New York, this time over hush money payments to a porn star. The legal bills just won't stop piling up for him. While the 2016 race was underway, he faced allegations that he had lied about a matter that may have tarnished his reputation. Additionally, he is facing trials in Georgia over challenges to the 2020 election, in federal court in Washington, D.C., for his actions leading up to and during the January 6, 2021 riot in the U.S. Capitol, and in federal court in Florida for confidential documents that he was compelled to return to the government upon his departure from office. Not everything is gloom and doom. Truth Social, Trump's social media platform, went public last week, and his ownership interest might be worth over $4 billion in theory. If this amount materializes, he could utilize it to finance his own campaign. But unless the board of directors gives Trump a waiver, which may cause the stock price to plummet, the arrangement stipulates that he must keep the stock for a minimum of 6 months. Deflating a stock that supporters hold is what that would look like. Another Trump super PAC, Mega Incorporated, has been keeping Save America afloat by transferring over $52 million in the 9 months between May of last year and February of this year. This money has been going toward buying Trump's legal expenses. The falsehoods propagated by Trump, at his rallies, Trump loves to spout lies, and his supporters love it. Most voters will not. Trump frequently frames the political persecution he faces in court as a form of self-defense. His most ardent fans will enjoy that. However, next month there will be a highly costly show that will put his sex life in the forefront. Spectators bemoan the nasty sight as voters deliberate. Though he has his own issues to pay for, Biden makes fun of Trump. You could say that Biden is enjoying himself with that. On Tuesday, his team claimed that he had traveled to every state that could be a deciding vote, in contrast to Trump, who has stayed mostly isolated at his Florida estate between court appearances. Accusing Trump of being financially strapped and weak, Biden's team made the following assertion. Currently serving officials too have their share of flaws. Voters of color, including blacks and Latinos, are increasingly turning away from Biden and toward Trump or other third-party candidates. According to many polls conducted this year, Trump recognizes the chance. According to Monday's Washington Post report, Trump has asked Republicans in Michigan, a swing state, to step up their efforts to reach out to black voters in Detroit. A collapsing alliance is bad for business, as Biden can see. In swing states, his campaign is currently airing a $30 million advertisement blitz that will last 6 weeks. Prioritize high-impact and non-traditional TV chances, according to the campaign's March 8 pledge, which included airing on stations owned by blacks and Hispanics. As part of their effort to underscore what a disaster Donald Trump was for Black America, Biden's team just produced 2 advertisements in 4 states, Wisconsin, Georgia, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. The anti-Latino rhetoric that Trump frequently uses in his campaign speeches was the subject of a commercial that went live on Saturday. In November, will Biden benefit from having a head start on campaign funds? Trump needs to direct his resources toward addressing his legal vulnerabilities. Last week, a Politico magazine/Ipsos poll found that half of all Americans would be less likely to vote for Trump in November if he had a criminal record. According to over 1/3 of independents, his conviction would make them less likely to vote for him. Opinion alerts. The USA Today app will send you opinions written by your favorite journalists as well as expert analysis of current events. Absent the app? It is available for free on the App Store. The utilization of Biden's funds is a direct response to his political weaknesses. Is he successful? He must address these weaknesses and restore his coalition in less than 8 months. The candidates were in a dead heat in 2 states, Pennsylvania and Michigan, while Biden had the upper hand in Wisconsin, according to a Bloomberg News/Morning Consult poll that came out on Tuesday. The 4 swing states that Trump led in were North Carolina, Arizona, Georgia, and Nevada. As an incumbent, you don't look fantastic like that. In contrast to polls taken in November and January, Biden's numbers were increasing in 6 of the 7 states, making him a stronger competitor to Trump in all but Georgia. Biden is ahead of the curve financially, and his initial ads are having an effect on the polls. Trump, who is still deep in legal trouble, will be returning to New York next month for a racy circus performance that will be more reminiscent of his reality TV days than his presidency.